Hey guys, I wanted to take the time to explain Ripple from a banker's perspective and how it gets me so excited and how Ripple is going to change the global financial landscape and going to make not only my life a million times easier, but also the life of the consumer. Me, average Joe's, you watching this video, me just going to Wells Fargo or Chase and trying to send money to a friend across the world. Everything is going to change because of the technology and the services that Ripple is bringing to the global financial market. Now, what is Ripple? And I get this question all the time from even people that I work with at the bank because they don't really know. All they hear is about Bitcoin, right? Because that's the poster child. That's the first one, the number one. But then you have other coins that come out, like Ethereum, Litecoin, Ripple, that offer different services. And they've been coined the term altcoins. But I like to use the term service coins. Because there's some coins that really don't do much, or they're kind of just doing something weird, like you could donate money for a post. But Ripple's changing the game. They're actually trying to fix a $1 trillion problem that currently exists in the market. Our current system, when it comes to international transfers, is decades behind. The fact that we could send streaming video to astronauts out in space, live streaming video, but we cannot send money across the planet without it taking 2 to 3 business days is ridiculous. And this is why I'm so excited to talk to you about Ripple, and why anyone I talk to about, they can see the excitement. I'm hoping I'm trying to portray that to you. But let's go ahead and dive into what Ripple really is and what it does. So pretty much Ripple is trying to fix bank-to-bank transactions. And those transactions between different banks usually take some time. Ripple's trying to get rid of all of that, especially when it comes to international transfers. So let's just go off some basics on the benefits of Ripple. Well, it's definitely really fast when it comes to selling payments. 4 seconds. 4 seconds is amazing. The fact that I could go ahead and send money to a friend across the planet and it'd take 4 to 10 seconds. Let's bring it up. Let's say 4 seconds is the fastest. Let's say 10 seconds. Even if it just takes seconds, it's still better than taking hours and days. Like what? And also the transactions per second is also something that just blows my mind. Bitcoin only has 3 to 6 transactions per second, and thus why you see the Bitcoin system usually taking a while when you're trying to transfer from a wallet or just trying to pay for something with Bitcoin. It takes quite a bit of time, especially if there's a lot of load and a lot of popularity and attention being drawn to Bitcoin. It's going to take a time for any transactions to actually be processed because the system is being overloaded. Same thing with Ethereum. CryptoKitties is killing Ethereum, and it's showing like a really big problem that Ethereum is going to have to try to fix and try to scale their system to take all those transactions. Ripple could handle 1,500 transactions per second and still be scalable to what they say could hit the scalability transaction-wise of Visa, which is mind-blowing. All right, this would bring payments and money transactions up to the actual technology that's available. Like right now, we're down here, and we should be up here. Banking takes a long time to adapt to technology. I mean, for a fact, I still actually use some DOS systems, and I work for one of the biggest banks in the globe. And the fact that it takes me so long to do anything when it comes to money transfers between other banks because of all the back-end work it has to do and all the antiquated systems it has to get verified through. I mean, the amount of people that's between myself and the destination is ridiculous. Ripple takes rid of all that. And that's how you're able to get these super quick payments. That blows my mind. And I'm excited. I started reading about Ripple and I just couldn't believe that this system wasn't already out there. And now banks are starting to realize that this can be done. And the consumers are starting to realize that this can be done. And that's why they're trying to adapt it. Because when it comes to something like this revolutionary, if you're not one of the first few in the game, you're going to fall behind big time. And you're going to be left in the dust. And you're going to lose customers. You're going to lose money. And when it comes to banking, losing money, that's a no-go. And there's no way a bank would ever allow that to happen. And that's why you see a lot of banks in Korea, Japan, in Europe, and even some US looking at adopting the Ripple technology to their banking platforms because of what it offers. When I worked as a personal banker, you know, and I had people come into the bank and they're trying to send money to their friends, or I had students come in, international students, and they're trying to get money from their family, and they need it now, there was really no possible way other than a wire transfer. And that takes, depending on the day, 2 to 3 business days. Saturday, Sunday's not a business day. So if you came in on a Friday into the bank and you were trying to do a wire, right? On Friday, you try to do your wire, that first actual business day of it doing the transaction, just starting the process of once it's in the system, might not start till Monday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is when someone might get the money. And remember, you started Friday. So you have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday when it actually starts the processing system, Tuesday, Wednesday. 6 whole days before that person might get that money. On top of that, you're paying like a $30 wire fee. $30! That is ridiculous. Especially if you're just trying to send someone a little bit of cash. If you're trying to send someone $100, you're going to have to pay $130 just to get it done. You have to actually have $130, you know, 100 of it actually going to the person you're trying to send, and $30 puts to the bank. $30 to send money? That's just ludicrous and stupid. And I thought that when I was a personal banker. And I worked for the bank. That money wasn't going in my pocket. So Ripple's fixing that. And let me show you the transaction costs. 0.0004 cents for that transaction. 0.0004. Not 30. 0.0004 is so low. Not only does that save money for the bank, those cost savings should definitely go to the consumer, you. So let's say if your bank was to adopt this technology of Ripple that they offer, speed, transaction, cost, and you're not getting those benefits as a consumer, and you know your bank adopted this technology, leave that bank immediately because they're trying to rip you off. I recommend it. Look for a bank that's actually going to take those cost savings and give it to you. All right? So let me talk about the bank side of this. Banks do transactions, millions of transactions a year, from small to big, to the point that they hundreds of millions. Imagine all the transaction fees they have to pay, just the bank alone, to afford that. And guess who's paying for it? Not the bank. You are, as the consumer, with all the fees that come with having an account. You know, loans. You're paying for it. The bank is taking those costs and putting onto you. And that's why you might see all these fees as comes a bank. You know, to maintain your account, if you don't have a minimum amount, you're going to be charged $10 a month, which is bullshit. That's why I have USAA. I don't have a minimum of how much I have to have in my account. I have a free account. Thankfully, because I was a veteran, I was able to have access to that. But normal banks, like Wells Fargo, Chase, Citi, they have these account minimums or other things that you have to do to be able to get those free accounts, to avoid those fees, which is ridiculous. Accounts should be free. But because of the way the financial landscape is right now interest rates have gone down, banks are trying to make up those costs, and guess where they're bringing it to? To you. So with all these transactions that the banks are having to do for all the millions of dollars they send every day, they're paying a lot. And that's just domestic. Imagine the transaction costs when it comes to international. Because it's not just dollar to dollar. You're paying a foreign exchange fee of switching your dollar to the Aussie dollar, or your dollar to the euro, and then the euro to the ruble. There's a lot of steps and people in between that not only increase the costs, but also increase the time. Ripple's getting rid of that. As a consumer, I'm excited. As a banker, I'm really excited because my job will get easier. It was literally taking me 3 hours to try to get a wire out to Australia because of all the craziness I had to go through just to get it approved through all these peoples in the cogs in the system. Ripple, all those cogs are gone. It's predefined between A and B. A and B know exactly the amount that's coming through, and everything's predetermined, instantaneous. And that's what banking needs. And that's why I'm excited as a banker when my Ripple is gonna change the global financial landscape. Not just for me, but for you. And that's why I'm extremely invested in Ripple. I bought it at 20 cents. And it's a long-term hold for me. Extreme long-term hold. Because at its current price, what I believe is 77 cents, that's like having Amazon in the 90s. That's like having Microsoft and Apple stock right when it first started. That's like having Tesla stock right when it first started. That's like having Facebook stock when it first started. This is the beginning. The roadmap is there. Everyone knows this technology is going to change banking. Ripple knows it. The bankers definitely know it. I've spoken to the innovation teams at my bank. And blockchain is the future. And then you have a company like Ripple who sees a huge huge opportunity in the finance sector that is $1 trillion problem. $1 trillion. That's if you think of all the banks and all the transactions around the world. And they're like, hey, you have this problem, we have the solution. Right here. And look at all the money you're going to save. Not only for you, but your consumers. And how happy they will be to be able to send money to your mom, your brother, your father, your friend, across the world. And it takes 4 seconds? That's a no-brainer, ladies and gentlemen. It's a no-brainer. I get excited every time I talk about it. And I hope I've gotten you excited just talking about it, and trying to explain through my own excitement how amazing Ripple is going to be. And if you want to make some money, invest in Ripple now. I see that question a lot on Reddit, on Discord, on Facebook. Hey, Ripple's 50 cents. Should I invest now or should I wait? Hey, Ripple's this. Should I invest now or should I wait? Yes! Invest right now. It's so cheap. It's cheap. Even if it goes back down a little bit. Know what you're holding. You're holding the future. Hold on to it. Put in as much as you possibly can that you can afford, okay? It is an investment, but I believe it's definitely a safe investment. And you will see it's going to pay back dividends. So I hope you liked this video, and I hope I answered some questions for those of you who have, you know, some doubts about Ripple or just don't know what Ripple is or what it could do and how bankers feel about it. And being a banker myself, I hope I was able to portray that feeling. So if you liked the video, please go ahead and like, subscribe, and I'll answer any questions you may have in the comments, and I'll probably make some more follow-up videos and go in more detail on how Ripple handles with the bank-to-bank transactions and also its counterpart, Stellar Lumens, and how it's more dealing with the consumer-to-consumer side of things and how it helps with the unbankables. And that's a whole nother side of the world population that will be able to come into banking that are not able to get into banking right now. And I'll explain that in a whole other video. And I hope you guys come back. Have a good night.